This episode is brought to you by Tilda Rice.
Now, I don't know about you, Claire, but I've been finding that life's even more hectic than usual at the moment.
Yeah, between the kids, this podcast, the new dog, and all the work bits in between, a lot going on.
Too much going on. Something's got to give. But if you came round our house at dinner time, you wouldn't have a clue, would you? You'd probably find, I don't know, a chickpea korma or a vegetable paella on the table. And it's all because of the new Tilda Easy Meals range, which gives you perfectly cooked, tasty meals in just 2 minutes. And not to mention, it counts as one of your 5 a day.
Yeah, they're pretty great, which is unsurprising really, since Tilda is the UK's biggest rice brand with over 50 years of expertise, and that is even older than you, Jimmy.
Thank you.
And
it's a lot older than me, yeah. Carry on.
Well, it's not a lot older than you.
Yes, much older. I'm not near 50.
No, but you're nearly 40.
Carry on.
And they're B Corp certified, which basically means they meet the highest standards when it comes to social and environmental impact.
And it also means I look like the world's best partner and father and the best chef in our house.
Yeah, I'll ignore that.
So if you want to elevate your plate, choose Tilda Rice. Scenes with just me and you specifically make me really laugh because I know that we were just laughing all the way through it. In the first film, we have a falling out, and I think that was really, really tough to do because we were just laughing so much.
Tara's sister says to Simon, I'm crazy that you're doing this at all, but at least this way I know you're doing it somewhere safe. And then Simon says, absolutely, only in her vagina. And she says, I meant in the bedroom. And he went, so did I?
Yeah.
And then Jay goes, why did you say vagina then? And Simon goes,
What does that say about me and Hannah?
You're a couple of idiots and you fell for it.
You should have looked around more, but there's nothing you can do now.
Stuck when you should have twisted. Right, welcome back to part 2 of our Joe Thomas special. We may have rabbited on so long that we've decided at the last minute to make this 2 episodes. So we'll just go straight back into it, shall we?
Well, this is the best bit.
This is the best bit.
We've got listener questions and stories. So the guys put it on Instagram on our, what is it?
TikTok.
Instagram and TikTok, what is it?
At the Buckleys pod.
Any in-betweeners questions or in-betweeners stories that they want to tell you to.
Okay.
We've got a few of them.
Great.
Would you like me? I think I should read it so you two can react.
Yeah,
because
me
I'm
and
just
Joe are the guests.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I'm the fucking guest, clearly. Right, we got...
I like that. It was good. It was really sort of acidic.
Well, if I'm anything, Joe. We have got some in-betweener...
Oh, crikey.
Did you say fishy?
Yeah.
Oh,
sorry. It was a callback to another Scampy.
Episode.
That's what I meant. Scampy. Sorry.
No, I'm going to have to tell Joe about this later.
No, it's fine. We don't have to... Yeah.
I'm not going to do it right now.
Okay, yeah.
I'll tell you later.
No
and
problem.
It's not true.
I'm sure. I can
Imagine.
tell. No, he's being...
Clean as a whistle, honestly.
He's been what?
He's being cheeky.
Right, okay. I thought you were going to say he's been telling you. Anyway,
Oh, no,
okay.
no. Oh, no. He's being a little bit of a wind-up merchant.
Yes, he is, Joe. Okay, right, we have got some in-betweener related questions and stories sent in by our lovely listeners. So this is from Amy.
Okay.
And the subject is potty mouth. I don't know how that could be related to the in-betweeners.
No.
Okay.
No.
She starts off by saying, mortified by my 8-year-old. She has recently started back chatting a few weeks ago and I told her to stop giving me so much lip. To which she replied, good Lord. Okay. To which she replied, my lip round your bell end. If Mr. Chippy don't get there first, what you gonna do? Knock up a closet for him to hide in, you bumder.
Okay, that is our fault.
Soz about that.
I was in utter shock. It hadn't registered what she said at first. When I turned to my husband to ask where she had got this from, who, my husband at this point, had his t-shirt pulled over his face in fits of laughter, when he replied, I think that's the in-betweeners. Our 17-year-old son and my husband still won't own up to who allowed her to watch it. God knows how many times she's seen it for her to recite that scene between Will and Neil's dad. I hope you like this one. From one shocked mum to a very sassy, quick-witted 8-year-old girl who has now got an obsession with the in-betweeners.
Well, she's obviously, I mean, she's been brought up right.
Yeah.
She's obviously got great taste in comedy.
Yeah.
And that is a funny thing to say.
And a
That's-
good,
Your
you know.
lip.
Oh,
Her
I'm sure you'd
mum
like my lip
said-
right round your bell end.
Now, is that a direct quote?
Yes.
Yes, it's a direct quote. Well, also, she's got a good, she's got
Go
a good
on.
head for lines.
Absolutely.
I mean,
It was
that's a,
She's an actress.
she's an actress. I mean, the good news
it was
is,
in perfect
Let's
context.
Yeah.
spin it into
Yeah.
a positive.
yeah,
So the mum said, "Stop giving me that lip,"
lip.
and she said, "Your lip round my bell end." Did
Yeah.
you say that? Is that
No.
your line? Who was that?
Bird.
Yep, Will. Yeah, it's Will's line. It's word for word perfect.
Yep.
Wow.
And
Paying attention. Good.
yeah,
No, sorry.
yeah,
That's
it's
all I can
Yeah.
say.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm going to be honest. I don't really think it's our fault if your 18-year-old girl is watching the Inbetweeners.
8.
Oh, sorry,
8.
8-year-old girl.
Yeah. Well, I know we're trying to sort of massage the age up to make it. If you're 38-year-old,
8.
yeah,
Yeah.
8.
And
That's
is
not-
it worse that it's a ghetto? A little ghetto?
It's not
A
our
little
fault.
ghetto said
It's
your
not my
lip
fault. It's not
round-
my fault what you're letting your kids watch.
Well, that's what she's saying. It's not.
She
It's
says
the dad or the
it's
brother.
the dad or the brother.
And none of them have
They
owned
won't
up.
own up. They won't own
Of
up.
course they won't. Because it's horrific. It should not be happening at all whatsoever.
Now, I'll say one thing that you have noticed, and I don't know if you're the same, Joel, because James has said to me a couple of times, obviously you get the normal people who come up for pictures.
Go on.
The guys like our age and below, but then you also get like 10, 11, 12, 13-year-olds
Yeah.
coming
Yeah.
up
Yeah, kids.
and asking for a picture. And
Yeah.
there is a little bit of James when it's like this 10-year-old boy and he comes
Yeah.
up with his dad. And
Yeah.
James does sort of go, "You watch the Inbetweeners?"
The language is obviously out there,
Blue.
but it's blue. But I would say that in terms of other types of content, it's not very much. It's obviously not violent. There
not
isn't,
violent.
and there isn't actually sexual content in it because the whole point is these lads are losers.
Yeah.
So to some extent, I suppose
They're just words.
Well, it's all
aren't
just
they?
talk, innit?
it's all talk. I mean, I don't know.
But the
I
word-
suppose
the
what I'd say,
words are
ultimately, I
pretty.
genuinely think, I think it's a warm-hearted show. I think its heart's in the right place. And I think the language is absolutely filthy. And I think that as a package, that is something that a parent can take a view on. But I do
That's
think...
a very
yeah.
good point,
Yeah.
to be fair.
I
That is
mean-
a very good point. And also, do you think the language is necessary?
Yeah.
Yes, I do. Yeah. No. Yeah, no, it is. No, it is. Because the thing is, if you start watering it down, it's not the language anymore. I mean,
Yeah.
it's like...
It's very true.
Do you know what I mean? It's just... It's that or nothing. There isn't another
Yeah.
version of this where you... And I mean, I suppose... To some extent, maybe it's fair to say that the American version of The Inbetweeners kind of demonstrated that.
Exactly.
It's like,
yeah.
okay, yeah, you don't have to show them drinking underage. You don't have to show them swearing, but you won't have the show anymore.
Forgot about the drinking underage thing.
Yeah.
Come on, then.
That definitely
Come
would
on.
not be made now.
No, it's funny, isn't it? I think there's just stuff where
We can fire off flares and
But
things
to
like that.
be
Yeah.
fair, though, that is why I think, like, what I'm saying about, obviously, I know your experience and the younger and younger people coming up to you, and it's because probably boys, and apart from this 8-year-old girl, but boys in particular, that's still how they talk to each other.
I think it's amazing to
and
me
it's
how
still the same stuff.
the experience
that
of
they
adolescence
say.
has stayed the same. It's genuinely amazing.
Absolutely.
It's despite all the technology and everything else. It's like
Yeah.
there's something fundamental about I think basically it's about. I suppose fundamentally it's about the relationships you have in your life, and that is no matter what level of technology society is at. Would have to be an insane level of technology for
Yeah.
that not to be.
I mean, a
main thing in
group of
people's lives.
boys
And-
at school. Well, it's similar to the South Park
Yeah.
thing. I
Yeah.
mean, that was made way before the Inbetweeners, and it's
yeah.
still a group of 4
Yeah,
little
yeah.
boys who speak terribly to each
But
other.
I think also with the language, like if you stop, if it doesn't sound plausibly like it's about real life, you lose your audience anyway.
Yeah.
And now you can't do anything.
Yeah.
They speak like that because plausibly that's how teenage boys speak. And you could make it so it's not like that.
But then
But
you
then that segment of the
lose-
audience just isn't even there anymore.
Yeah, you're
I think,
right.
You
I
know,
think
It's just a cross section
Yeah.
of a stage in
But also
young
it's
men's
not-
lives.
Completely.
Yes, because also the thing about the Inbetweeners is that yes, they say a lot of stuff, but it's not actually what they do.
And that's
or
in a way
what
that's the
they
whole point,
believe.
isn't it? I mean,
and
they're little
especially
losers,
your
like-
character, you're the clear bullshitter because everybody had one of them in their group.
What strikes about it all is how profoundly unfunny it is. There's no one's having a laugh.
Oh,
it's
that's
not.
a great observation.
And I think that one of the things about the Inbetweeners is that it was a very, very, the way we were with each other, it was very, very unmacho. I mean, we were never ever trying to.
Especially behind the scenes.
Completely. Behind the scenes particularly, yeah. I mean, I'd say it was highly homoerotic. But I think but I think in a way, and I think Ian, one of the writers, said to me once, like, there is nothing less funny than a guy who's trying to be macho. There's nothing funny about it. Like, and I even think I genuinely think that comedians shouldn't have six packs. I think it's pathetic. Like, if you're a guy who cares what his body looks like, fuck you. You haven't got a sense of humour then. You're not funny then.
Okay, so we have got another one.
Yeah.
From Billy.
Yeah.
Now, this is a question for you two. What is the one scene from the Inbetweeners that when you watch it still makes you laugh?
Loads.
I can't remember.
I mean,
Oh,
anything.
it's just so
No.
good
I
that they're
think
all so funny.
The ones that make me laugh aren't necessarily the ones that people find the funniest. The ones that make me laugh are...
It's because of the backstory.
So it'll be ones with you. It'll be scenes with just me and you specifically make me really laugh because I know that we were just laughing all the way through it. So I think, I might be wrong, but in the first film, like, we have a falling out.
Yeah.
And then we did that scene
of
of us on the wall when we're coming back together.
Yeah.
And I think that was really, really tough to do because we were just laughing so much.
What did you have to? Did you have to hug or
No,
something?
it had nothing to do with the scene. It had nothing, like, it was, for us, it was just another scene. It wasn't because the scene was maybe a little bit serious that we sort of,
Right.
it was just another scene.
Yeah.
But I always found if it was just me and Joe alone doing a scene together, we'd end up getting told off.
I do feel
Being
like
told how much more time we've got left.
yeah, I feel like Blake and Simon are slightly more serious than you two.
When
it comes to
Simon
doing,
Bird,
when it comes
Simon
to doing
Bird,
Simon
the
Bird
job,
was actually, he was a really bad corpse sitter. I know he looks
Awful,
the
yeah.
part and like a little bookworm and everything, but
No,
actually
not at all. You see him out of all of us. You can watch the show and you can see him just smiling. Like, he was always like this.
Yeah. Yeah, no,
He was always doing this face where he was trying to hide the fact that he wanted to smile. What?
Yeah.
No. And I just watched it and going, well, that's just...
Yeah, because every
just
emotion
his
every single emotion is like, the emotion you're supposed to be doing, and like 20% you're laughing.
Yeah.
So, oh, he's really sad, and 20% laughing.
Yeah.
You're like, oh, he's really horrified, and 20% laughing.
Yeah.
You're like, well, I just think it's really well written, and like every time it happens to be on, I watch it for a little bit, and there are just lots of really, I mean, the Warwick episode I saw fairly recently. Tara's sister says to Simon, like, I'm not crazy that you're doing this at all, but at least this way I know you're doing it somewhere safe. And then Simon says, absolutely, only in her vagina. and she says, that's not why I meant in the bedroom. And he went, so did I?
Yeah.
And then Will or you goes,
It's Jay. Jay
goes, why did you say vagina then? And Simon goes, And that's just happened to be on. It was just a random bit. So it is just, in a day when it's very well written. And
was in the script, right?
What's that? Was in the script. Yeah, because I used to say it and they start putting it in the script.
Yeah,
So Simon
yeah,
says,
you
all the time.
do say that a lot.
What am I going to do now? Don't
Okay,
know.
well, this isn't a question or a story,
Okay.
but
What the hell is it? Picture?
this is just a sentence, and she just expects you to get it.
Okay.
My name is Carli. I was in secondary school when the Inbetweeners first came out.
Do you know what... Do you know what she's talking about?
Yeah, Carli was.
Yeah.
No, I know.
But I can
God.
imagine there was one specific thing that was constantly shouted at her.
Carli no, what?
The nursery rhyme.
Oh yeah, what?
Carli's
fanny on your face, on your face, on. Yeah, they wanted to do.
Good
They wanted to do, but I assume they
Lord.
couldn't get the rights for. They wanted to do, I love you, Carli,
that's right.
and if it's quite all right, I want your fanny on my face tonight.
tonight.
Couldn't get the
Yeah.
rights, weirdly. It's almost as though whoever wrote that song didn't want that version of it.
Well, I bet they fucking regret it now.
I'm regretting it, exactly. I tell you what.
No, but Carli's...
Yeah?
No, I like the nursery rhyme. It's
Yeah.
London's Bridge is falling down, isn't it? Classic.
Yeah,
Carli's
that
fanny on your
famous song,
face.
yeah.
And your belly.
And your belly, yeah.
Wow.
So if you were Carli at school,
Yeah,
when that
all the
came out, I
Carlis.
can imagine that was a bit of a pain in the ass.
And it ends with ...
Yeah.
So I can imagine.
Sorry about that.
Okay, this is from Jay.
Okay.
It's all people with the names of...
Yeah.
Oh, they're all named after...
Yeah.
Of course, they're all born and
It's
named
like,
after
10 years after Kaylee was in
Kennedy
Neighbours.
next.
Yeah.
Okay, so Jay says...
I just got that. So I thought you meant President Peter Kennedy.
Who was the guy that Will's mum was dating for a bit? It was like, Fergus.
Fergus.
Fergus better have a message to us.
The subject is Inbetweeners and chill.
Right.
Okay.
That's code these days.
I know what this is.
Let me tell you, Jay, that is not the way to... Not these fucking idiots. Anyway, okay, funny story
Well, I suppose
related...
good comparison, isn't it? If you're with a lad, you'd be like, well, better than that,
Yeah.
I guess.
Yeah.
What? Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
True.
Like, you don't want to put on somebody who's better than you.
Yeah.
You don't want to
Put on
watch
us.
50 Shades of Grey.
Exactly. Pop on the Inbetweeners.
You want to watch the Inbetweeners?
Yeah. Oh, God, actually, he's above average. I cannot believe it,
I can't believe
but
that.
he's actually above average.
Okay, what does that say about me and Hannah?
That you're idiots.
You
That you're a couple of idiots and you fell for it.
You went too early. You should have looked around more, but
You
there's
We
nothing
should've-
you
You're
can do now.
stuck when you should have twisted. Yeah, you stood on a 4, Claire.
Yeah.
Nobody stays on a 4.
You know,
Yeah.
roll the dice again.
Okay. Funny story related to the Inbetweeners. My girlfriend and I are massive fans and are always watching it. But when I lived with a mate and he was at home, whenever he wanted to have an intimate moment, we would play episodes of the Inbetweeners as loud as possible to hopefully hide any noise. After a year of this, we got drunk and spoke about it to our friends in the pub, including the flatmate. Turns out it wasn't loud enough and he clocked on. Every time he heard the Inbetweeners coming from the room, he knew exactly what was going down. Usually me.
Well, listen, I've said this for a long time.
But anyway, to this day, everyone jokes whenever we leave together, they shout at us asking if we're off to watch the Inbetweeners.
Yes, I've said this. If you...
Well, that's how you turn me on, isn't it? You
This
put
is
the
it.
Inbetweeners on.
This is it. If you want to get your lady in the mood, right?
See Will in that
Stick
vest.
these...
Yeah, Will. Yes,
know.
Will's
These boys on your
Will's
screen.
killer bod is what you need. Yeah, pop us on.
That's gonna. But you're gonna have to turn it up
yeah,
because it won't. It won't drown out the noise.
The problem is that obviously, if you
Do you find that very strange to think that people... We know
I
for
find
a
it weird. It's not-
fact that people were having sex while they
it's
they
not
were...
what I put
you
on.
were
I
on
put
the
on
TV.
some music or something. It seems
What
like
would you go for? What's the music?
classical. No.
Mozart.
Yeah,
I just think I'd find
Elgar,
it-
probably Elgar. I think just.
I'd just be like, oh, hang on, can we just watch this instead?
Oh yeah. Okay. Nice.
'Cause
Yeah.
it's, you know,
Sex has got to
it's
be
the
pretty good
Inbetweeners.
to compete.
Mm,
Yeah.
You
I,
put on that weird little history cartoon program.
We can't. What do you want me to do with that?
No, I'm just saying
Right.
you did.
It's to
I
drown
think-
out the noise, Claire.
What noise?
My noise. You know how loud I am.
I sort of think-
I'm just shouting, screaming at the top of my lungs. Oh my god!
The problem, obviously, is if you commit to something and then people figure out that that's the thing, it's now
Yes.
worse than if it was nothing, because now they just know that that
Yeah.
means
Yeah.
sexy time. So
What's the Inbetweeners theme song?
And then the shoes.
Yeah, that's a terrible pace to set.
Yeah.
If sex is
Also,
can't
right,
sustain
that-
Like, that's,
listen,
that's exhausting.
Let's just
Someone's gonna have a heart attack.
let's just talk about the fucking theme, the intro,
Yeah,
whatever the fuck that was.
yeah.
We had absolutely no idea what that.
No.
What do you call that? The intro.
Yeah, no, I
Yeah.
like it. Well, you're all kind of like little black and white.
Yeah. So they took pictures of us.
Yeah.
Took these pictures of us, right? And we were just like, "What? What is this?" They're like, "Oh,
You were
using it."
wearing glasses.
Yeah.
I liked it.
But then it was like, and now you're gonna like.
Yeah.
There's like bits. They're like, now look like this, and we're like, right.
oh,
like-
you had to actually move.
No,
like
we didn't
that?
have to move, but we were just like, and look like you're being dragged or something like that. I was
Yeah.
like, I don't know what the fucking hell this is going to look like by the time
Well, there you go, it
Yeah,
worked,
no,
didn't it?
no, it was odd. Yeah,
And I think it does look like. I mean, it's
But
perfect for the
only
show.
you
'Cause
can
it just
see
looks
it,
like
though.
four boys that don't know what the fuck is going on.
there's loads of stuff about our shoes in it. There's
Yeah,
a
there's
weird
like-
obsession with our shoes. They're like, oh, they've all got different shoes.
I think it's very dated.
Who cares?
I think it's very of the time. It looks a bit sort of like.
It sounds very much like the Peep Show
2000s.
music, frankly. The Peep Show music is very, very... Well, the first series of Peep
Yeah.
Show had that...
Yeah, the first
And they were like,
series,
that was really weird and awful. And then they changed it to something that was like, Peep Show, Peep Show. And basically, it feels quite basic, I think, is what I call it. I think it's quite a basic. It's
Isn't that a real song, though?
Yeah.
The Inbetweeners.
Yeah. Oh,
Oh, Claire, you just spilt beer
Oh, Claire.
all down you.
I'm sorry.
How did you do that?
I don't know. I think it like splurted it while Joe was talking.
Well, that's usually what happens to me when Joe's talking.
Very good. Good. Very good.
Sorry,
well
Joe.
done.
Okay, Joe, you lucky bastard.
Here we go.
Would you care to get involved in one of our regular features, Joe?
Ooh,
It'd be nice to have an extra set of hands to help us
Yes,
tackle
please.
what's going on. What are we doing? Are we doing Buckley's Law? Is that what we're doing?
It's a Buckley's Law.
Right, it's time now for Buckley's Law. Play the theme tune. So this is
So good.
this is this
Hey,
is
it's better than your fucking theme tune.
This is the
No, it is better than... No, it's fair enough. Yeah, it's fair enough.
this is the segment where we discuss new laws
Yeah,
that we will pass when we're in power.
when it finally happens.
What
We
role
wouldn't
will
be
Joe?
democratic, would it? We'd seize the...
what-
yeah,
what-
yeah,
what
okay,
will-
sorry.
Go. Okay. We don't need actual politics.
No.
Okay, sorry.
What role will Joe have once we're in power in the cabinet? What would you like? They're all up for
yeah, what
grabs
do you
at the
want to
moment,
do?
really.
I'm the Prime Minister because we voted on it a couple of weeks ago and I won.
You're Prime Minister.
No, that's not how this works. It's not a democracy.
It's not a democracy.
It is.
Okay.
And I won.
Can I be like ambassador to somewhere? Somewhere nice.
Somewhere nice.
Yeah.
Oh, so you want to live somewhere representing...
Yeah, I just go out and
Buckley's
live
Law.
in a big
Go
house.
and live in the embassy or something.
Right.
Yeah.
Where
if
would you
you
like to go?
Cuba
Where
or
do you want to
something?
go?
Hey, Cuba? No, just somewhere that's really...
Magaluf?
Why not?
Go
Yeah.
work there?
Why not?
I don't think there is. Is there an embassy?
There's probably not
I'll
an
be-
embassy.
Well, there will
but
be
when
when
I-
we're in
shocked.
charge.
Well,
I'll be shocked if
it's Spain. I'm Britain's ambassador to Spain.
Is there good relations?
Oh well,
they're a bit
not
pissed
since
off
the
with
not since the first
tourists,
in between film, no.
No, yeah, we sort of ruined it, didn't we?
But I'll patch things up. I'll
Yeah,
say, look,
well, that's your job.
I'll tell
then.
you what. I'm
That's
going
the
out
thing
there.
as well.
I'm going out to Spain to say sorry.
Peace envoy.
I'm a peace envoy to say
Yeah.
sorry about the first In-Betweeners film.
Because
Okay.
they are fed up
Okay.
with tourists behaving
are.
like they do on
Yeah.
They
the
are. No,
In-Betweeners.
to be fair, I've
Yeah.
seen that. They're
Young
fed up with
Brits
tourists.
coming
Where are they
in.
fed up with them? Mallorca.
Gibraltar as well. That's always a hot.
Well, that's not our fault.
That's a hot.
Let's not. We didn't.
Do you know they've got their own language in Gibraltar?
All right, Buckley's
I thought we were talking
Law.
about Spain.
No, gibberish.
Oh, job, very good.
That's a joke I nicked from someone else,
That's all right.
from another podcast. Anyway. So,
Perfect.
Joe, ambassador to Spain. Remember, guys, you can get your Buckley's Law to us by emailing thebuckleys@platformmedia.uk, or you can message us at the Buckley's Pod on Instagram and TikTok. Okay, Joe,
Go.
we're going to need your opinion on some listeners' suggestions they've sent in. So they're new laws.
Okay.
And
We
you can
decide.
decide.
We decide. Okay.
Whether
You can
they get
decide
passed or
whether,
not.
all right,
Nice,
yeah, no, that's a
okay.
good law. We'll make that one.
Okay.
Or
Good.
you
People
can be like,
standing
no,
in front
silly.
of shop doors
Yeah, that's-
against
yeah.
the law.
Yeah.
Don't stand in front of the
Yeah.
condiments.
Ease you in on this one.
Yeah.
I think this is cut and dry.
Okay.
That's also a thing that I like to say a lot on this podcast. Laura says people who use umbrellas irresponsibly.
You know what? I'm completely with Laura on this. Umbrellas are so annoying.
They're very big.
They're massive.
They're very.
And
They
people
they're
wanna-
invasion.
They are. They're like, I know it's just yours, but it's massively in other people's space. You
Yes.
can't just pretend.
I don't
that-
think Laura has a problem with umbrellas. I think she understands
people.
it's the way they're used.
Well, I'm actually.
She does say here, i.e., almost poke your eye out with them.
I totally
and
agree.
Do not put them up
I think
higher
Laura's
as you
being
walk
far
by.
too restrained with this. I don't think you need them. I find them. I think they're ridiculous. Frankly, I
Are you
don't.
saying a ban on umbrellas or just regulations? Just maybe a license to carry an umbrella?
I mean, yeah, mate. Honestly, does it really matter?
No,
If
no,
you-
you can't start asking questions like that.
Okay.
No, we have to make the decision.
We make the decision. No. I'm not saying does the law matter. I'm saying does it matter if you get a bit wet. I just think people who've got umbrellas. I'm like, in a way, I suppose. I think, who do you think you are?
My hair goes flat.
I will tell you something, James.
Okay.
And I will.
You look very sad.
No, let me tell you something. You use an umbrella very haphazardly, and not when it's open.
I like to flick it like a cane.
No, not even that.
Yeah.
That's fine.
I don't mind him in musicals.
Yeah.
That's what you're talking about.
No.
Okay, so they're banned other than, when you get the license,
Yeah.
you say, is this for a musical? And it'll be one of those areas where,
you need...
build that into the law. So we know they're taking the piss a bit, but we say, is it for a musical? Yes. What musical? Les Miserables.
Does it rain?
Sing me the song.
Yeah, what's the umbrella song?
Well, it's Raining Men.
And also, I'd love them to start singing It's Raining Men in the middle of Les Mis. Also, you'd need an umbrella coordinator there as well to go through all the scenes with the umbrella.
Yes.
To make sure they're done tastefully.
I think you have to make a plausible case that it's going to be used for a musical. And if you can do it, and if you maybe do a short tap dance as well, then you're allowed the umbrella, and then you're allowed to use it when you like. And I don't mind. Okay.
Hold on, because when you walk through,
singing in the rain, that would
that would be more of a better choice.
When you walk through the train station,
yes, what do I do with
you
it?
hold it long ways,
right?
And you swing your arms back and forward, and whenever there's anybody behind you coming up the stairs, and I always have to go, James, stop. So you're one of these people who use it haphazardly. So James has it like he's sticking out the back.
I'm
not.
Yeah.
And he's swinging his arms, and he's nearly hit people.
All right, listen.
Getting people.
I'm not going to.
just saying.
I'm not going to be one of those politicians that start having parties during lockdown and stuff like that. Okay.
Yeah.
I will take responsibility for the way I use my umbrella.
You are haphazard.
I'm sorry. I did that. Okay. We're going to try harder. We're going to push through some more regulations. And you got to, because you're not allowed to point. But you've still got to seem as if you're making a point. The point is too aggressive, but you've got to still look strong.
Is that what you do? Is that what they say?
Yes, you have to do the weird thumb point thing.
Why are you taking what he says?
What is interesting?
As if he knows what he's saying.
What if somebody said I don't know, where's the chance of the exchequer? You have to be like. Where's number 10 Downing Street?
If you go down that way and then you do a left, we'll look into that, Laura. There is definitely, I think umbrellas do have a place, but you're absolutely correct. They do need to have some kind of rules.
Yes. Okay.
Responsible umbrella ownership needs to be a thing. Yeah.
This is from Caitlin.
Yes.
She says, I've got a few things that I'd be really grateful if you could put an end to once you're in power.
Now that sentence scares me, I'll be honest.
There we are.
I'll be honest. We're all waiting now for what's gonna come next.
What?
Careful, Caitlin. You're making me sweat a bit here, love.
Calling smaller chocolate bars fun size.
Okay.
All right. That's
what's fun about it?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
I would say that.
Fair, actually. Yeah.
I'd say I'd have more fun with a bigger chocolate bar.
Nice.
That's not a euphemism. I'm genuinely being.
Nobody said it was.
I've never.
Look at your mind going to the
Do you know what? If I see, because sometimes there are some fun-sized bars. If it's like post-Christmas or post-Easter or something like that, there's fun-sized bars, and I think the boys are exactly the same as me as well. They get left in that drawer forever until they get thrown away. Yeah. Because if I see a fun-sized bar, I'd rather not eat it.
I ate
I'd rather just be like
the other day that had been on the top shelf of the fridge. Just open, like exposed.
Wow.
And it just soaked in all the stuff that was in the air of the fridge, and it was disgusting.
Why are you putting biscuits in the fridge, Joe?
I don't know what I was doing in there. But I agree about fun size. I mean, that's a really good point. What is fun about Is it that...
You can do it in one?
Listen, it's a classic.
Yeah,
it's a classic. And this is open.
That's fun, isn't it?
Caitlin's like...
that fun.
Caitlin's touched on something here. Things need to be...
It's always better when it takes a lot.
It's there where it takes a long time.
To get in.
Things,
That's fun.
Can I...
Sorry. Me and Joe are just having a moment.
I know, but I'm trying to talk about Caitlin here.
Well, we're talking about cock. Do you mind?
We're talking about penises, and let's not...
Oh, it's more fun when they're huge.
Yeah.
It's
no fun if they're really small.
Right, well, this conversation's making me feel a little bit...
It's not fun.
Uncomfortable.
It's making me feel a little bit uncomfortable.
Okay. This conversation's making me a little bit uncomfortable. So, fun size, right, is obviously a marketing ploy
Yes.
to
Yeah.
make something that's shitter
Yes.
sound like it's better.
Yes. Yes.
Right?
Right.
So that's what we need to
That's
crack
what you
down
did
on.
to
Okay.
me.
Yeah.
No, I didn't. No.
That's
no,
what
no,
you
no,
said
no.
to me.
Nope. Can't get me done on that. You can't do me on that one. Everything's exactly as the way I described it. There was no way that we got married and you went, what? What's all this? No, you knew what a fucking little lunatic I was. All right? So
Yeah.
don't start.
Yeah, little lunatic. That's what I've got the problem with.
People who get annoyed at subtitles. she's put here.
Oh no, I'm a subtitles fiend.
You got to have subtitles on. As soon as
I
you
can't hear
have, as soon
what
as you
they
have
say.
kids.
You must know this. You've got 2-year-olds.
I think that it does slightly affect the experience if you're reading the
absolutely,
script.
yeah, of
because
course.
partly, let's just say
But
very,
what-
very simple example. Sometimes you read a word before the character said it.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
But what really affects the experience is either a dog sniffing in your ear,
Yeah. Yeah.
not you, or kids just fucking around, like, and you can't hear a key piece of information, so you have to have the. I'd love it if you sniffed in my ear. I was talking about our actual dog.
That was clear.
Yeah. Okay.
Did you say clear or Claire?
Clear. Oh my
Clear.
God. Oh God, what a minefield.
Go on, Joe.
I think that I will, for preference,
No subtitles.
no subtitles, but also complete silence.
Yeah, but
Can Hannah talk to me? Not really, actually, Hannah, no. If you talk, what will happen? Joe's rewinding it.
All right.
oh no,
But,
see that's
and
annoying.
actually and I know that's annoying. And actually there are times where Hannah is like,
And by the way, that is so passive aggressive.
No, it's not.
Like if
Actually,
I was to
I
be
don't
in
think
a
it's
room with
I don't think it's passive
and
aggressive.
you were watching something, and then I said something to you, and you answered me, and then you went,
Oh no.
rewind it. I'd be like,
Claire,
whoa,
can I say, I don't think it's-
Hang on a minute.
I don't think it's passive aggressive.
Wow.
I think it's
Sorry.
I think it's
I've just remembered
OCD.
something.
I think it's OCD actually.
I've
is
just
what it is,
remembered
is that I
something.
worry that it's
Time in
Yeah.
my life. Sorry, Joe. There was a time in my life where I didn't have much going on, and so I was watching like
yesterday.
daytime TV quite a lot. This was just before you could really just watch whatever you want, whenever you want. So you had to,
Okay.
you had to still,
Right.
sometimes
No.
you're stuck.
you had to still sort of watch what
no
was on the TV.
Netflix
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
Amazon
Yeah, we
and
definitely
all
didn't
that.
have Netflix. I really got into Homes Under the Hammer.
Yeah.
Right, I love a bit of Homes Under the Hammer.
They did.
And but the whole.
How'd you get into it?
I don't know, but I'm one of these people.
Unemployment, Joe. Unemployment.
Okay.
But-
Yeah.
I'm one of these people where if I'm watching something, I need to see where it's going and what's happening with it and
Okay,
stuff
yeah,
like that.
yeah.
So I'd be watching it and they'd show me the fucking dump that they've bought
Yeah.
and whatever, and it's cost this much.
At an auction.
And they've now done it up,
Yeah.
and they've got the estate agent come around to tell us now how much money they've made.
Yeah.
And that's usually when Claire would come into the room and tell me
With
that
the baby.
that
Yeah,
something's
yeah.
going on, or we need to sort
Okay,
something out.
Yeah.
Or, I
So,
don't know,
do you know-
feed the baby,
Yeah.
change the
Yeah.
nappy.
So I'd-
Something that's more important than Homes Under the Hammer.
Correct.
Yeah.
So I'd pause it.
Yeah.
Just and wait for you
Okay.
to, because it was it was before streaming, but we had Sky Plus.
Hmm.
So I'd pause it, and you'd be talking to me, and you go, "Why are you pausing Homes Under the Hammer?"
Yeah. No, and this was a regular. This was a
Okay.
regular.
And I'd have to go because
occurrence.
they're just about to tell me how
Yeah.
much money they've either made or lost.
Yeah.
I've sat here for the last 20 minutes watching
Yeah.
this shit,
Yeah.
and I need to
Yeah.
get something out of
James's
Okay.
favourite thing about Homes Under the Hammer was that no matter what the presenter said about the home, they would find a song that
it.
matched
The music,
it.
Yeah.
the music was.
I've actually
was
heard you at
always-
this point.
Like
the
they
music
would,
was
they would
always
say something like,
literal.
Yeah. Yeah.
and the ceiling could
Yeah.
really
Yeah.
be lifted up. Whoa, dancing on the ceiling.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It'd be like, and they're gonna have to do something about this leaky roof. I'm fixing a hole where the rain gets in.
Oh, it's so good. It's such an underappreciation of music. It's
Yeah.
just like music's mainly there in case if there's a lyric that's literally the word you just used. It's amazing.
And they've set a deadline for Friday. Friday, I'm in love. Right, subtitles,
yeah.
Joe, getting rid or keeping on? Or do we make it a law
Well, no,
that you have to be quiet?
The law is you're not allowed to be annoyed about them. So
I need subtitles. I
I
need them. You talk all the time through stuff. You always talk through stuff.
don't think you're. Yeah,
Because, Claire, I've got more interesting things to say
he's got things to
than what people have done on
things to say.
television.
Yeah, that's the thing, and he's trying to, teach the things to you. So you've got to give him, in his position. It must be very difficult being James because he's got all these things that he knows, and he's just trying to get so you know them. Do you know what I mean?
Right. Anyway, we got.
See, I was nearly engaged there.
No.
So people who get annoyed at
He's a dick.
He's
Hang
an
on.
awful man and just human being.
Look at you. You can't even.
No, I can't do it. I can't. I actually genuinely can't. Not even as a joke.
Much.
I can't even do it as a joke. It's not something I'll do. I won't do it.
Listen,
I don't like it. Let's go back.
We've been through an
hell and high water
experience that no one else on this planet understands.
Yeah, no one. No one.
No.
So subtitles. People who get annoyed at subtitles.
Okay. I think it's.
No, you
They
can't.
need to stop complaining
No.
about it. That's what Caitlin's saying.
Oh, she's in for subtitles.
She's saying it's the people who get annoyed at subtitles.
Yeah,
Got
she
it,
likes.
right,
She
got
likes
it.
subtitles.
She's
Okay.
saying the people that get annoyed about it grow up.
Got it.
That's what she's
I
saying.
think. Okay, this would be my solution. If you're going to be annoyed about subtitles, you need to be prepared to watch in complete silence.
Correct.
Okay, and if you want to talk, then put the
Yeah.
subtitles on.
Absolutely.
That's what I'd
You
say.
can't be both.
You can't be both.
You can't be loud
No.
and annoying and also
yeah.
annoyed at subtitles.
And also, the person like with the subtitles on, they have to be a little bit less sort of anal noise and
Rewinding.
Yeah, so you shouldn't rewind. It's bad, and
Just pause it. Just pause it. It's fine.
Then I get worried.
'Cause they do end up-
because I get worried that stuff's like swallowed up in the pause. So if I do pause, I have to go.
you
I
have to go back 10
15
seconds.
seconds.
But they do
Yeah.
run out of steam after a little while, and you can just go carry
On
on.
Apple, they automatically turn on the subtitles if you take it back because they're like, oh, it must be because
that
they
true?
missed it, and then it pops off again. Nice little feature.
I didn't know that. I don't know whether she's for or against this. Cheering if someone accidentally smashes a glass. I'm
No, she's
for.
against it.
I'm
Surely
for it.
against it.
She's against it.
I'm for it. I love
As
that. It's a
a-
moment of magic.
I think
where
that
everyone in the restaurant or the pub or something like that all come together. Way!
I tell you,
Okay,
I tell you who
but
likes
as
it.
a-
I tell you who
as a-
likes doing that. I think this is a very straightforward. I think blokes like it, and I think women are
Well,
like, what are they doing? 'Cause
As
it's-
a barmaid
Yeah.
who has dropped a drink,
Yeah.
not good.
Just a bit of fun. Way.
It's very
And you
embarrassing.
could go, oh,
We
sorry."
used to do it at my boys' school, and it felt very boys' school. Like if somebody dropped a plate, we'd be like, it felt like
Wait, you go to an all-boys school?
yeah, till sixth form. Yeah,
What age is that?
18.
16. So
Oh,
16.
16.
And then last 2 years of sixth form, so 16 to 18, there were a few girls,
Wow, did you?
but it still felt very male.
Not enough to go around.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, you basically had these boys who had been taken up to the age of 16 without any girls, and then these few girls arrive, and the boys just all completely lost their shit. Well, almost literally like sort of fighting each other to try and impress the
Yeah.
girls. I mean, it was just,
Oh.
but just like.
Did you win, Joe? I bet you did.
I did have a girlfriend in sixth form, yeah, I
Oh.
did. Yeah, I had a girlfriend in the sixth form.
Caitlin would also like to sort out that last minute on the washing machine that goes on forever.
Good point.
Yeah. How
And when you're loading a new piece of software onto your laptop and it gets to 99% immediately, and then it's like,
Yeah.
and you're like, it's not fucking like, don't have it at all then.
Yeah.
You don't have it then.
Just leave
Don't
it.
get to not. I mean, I'll wait, but don't just say we don't know. It was done when it's done, but don't fob me off with 99%.
Exactly. Yeah. Don't mug me off.
It's mental, and I agree with this.
So that's
So worked up.
and
So
then
worked up.
I know.
Yeah.
Listen, I should have warned this is a very topical podcast.
Yeah.
we really get to the
We
really
really
important
get
stuff.
into.
It is. No, I completely.
And then Caitlin finishes with running marathons for fun. Running marathons for fun.
I think that running a marathon. I've done a few half marathons.
Have you, how far is that?
13 miles.
Half
And
a
I
mile.
would say that the half marathon.
I don't know what a marathon is. It's not
26.
fucking half a marathon. What's a marathon?
It's
26
26 miles.
Wait,
and
why
it is,
didn't know that?
Okay. Well, that's my fault.
it's 26 miles. And I think it's a bit long. I ran the London Marathon once. I did it in COVID. It was fucking
Fucking stupid
awful.
shoes.
It was awful. I ran it on my own with an app. So the whole point about the London Marathon is a big mad day with like all people in costume.
You just went out on your own.
I went out on my
day.
own. I didn't have a route. I just had my phone, and I was like, I'll just run for 26 miles and come home. And basically, I don't know what's going on with my phone, but basically, I was going run past restaurants and like looking at the reviews of the restaurants, like reading. And very, very quickly, my phone was down to 5% battery.
Of course.
And I was absolutely terrified.
How many miles in were you?
About 3. I was absolutely terrified that if it turned off, my time wouldn't get logged. And I was doing it for charity. And I was honestly like, I think that's fraud. Because I won't be able to prove I've done the 26 miles. So I turned everything. I took my headphones out. I turned off the music. I turned everything off apart from the map. So I'm now just running in silence on my own.
So nobody knew.
Nobody knew what I was doing. Nobody knew I was doing the
where
marathon.
you were, how you were doing it.
And then eventually, I even turned off the map. And because I didn't want to get lost, I just ran on completely straight roads in London. So I was by the end of it, it was just me running. I think the A3,
Why
like
didn't
a big
you just
road for
say
cars.
You did it.
I should have just said that, but I'm honest, and I was worried about the law getting it. I was genuinely about the law because I thought I cannot, and I thought got a bit of profile. Like Inbetweener lied about marathon for charity.
Yeah, it's
or
not
never at the end of it. And then I tell you what happened is the fucking app broke, and I swear to God, I was on, and this is actually goes back to the washing machine one. I was on like 24 or trying to on 25 miles genuinely, and it's because it couldn't connect to the fucking satellites because London's so crowded. It wouldn't log my last mile.
So you didn't do 26?
I did about 28 or 29 miles, and I was honestly just going through the streets of London, just going to myself, please, come on, please, come on, please. And I know, because my iPhone actually logs the distance for real, because that's that funny graph. Yeah. And that day, I didn't do anything other than run the marathon, obviously. It's genuinely like 28 or 29 miles. So the app was pointless, it broke. I don't care that you got Paula Radcliffe's voice. Make the app work first, then look at which celebrities are going to lend their voice to it, please.
Does it make you should really do the next one.
Have you ever met Paula Radcliffe?
No, I've got nothing against her. I've got nothing against.
Oh, okay.
I've got nothing against her at all. No, I was like, because they've got all these voices. She was talking you through it, saying you're just going to ease in. No, listen, this isn't the criticism of Paula Radcliffe. She's an Olympian and she's a bloody good runner.
But do you reckon?
Did she shit herself?
She did shit herself as well, which is
we've all been there.
And that is commitment as well. She's like, I'm not stopping.
No, I'm not stopping.
I'm not stopping.
I'll just
hang
my arsehole out.
What's your excuse? You were in the living room chair.
I didn't know it was going to happen.
Yeah.
Otherwise, I would have gone to the toilet. I'm not mental.
Yeah.
Do you think if you'd hear her in a room or something, you might turn around, but like your
Flashback.
initial
oh
thing?
God, I start running. I start running up the A3. Be like, no, I thought I'd finished.
Oh, it's finally working again.
Yeah, no, nothing against her, no at all. But no, it was the app. It wouldn't log my distance. Honestly, I did it for charity, and like maybe this is good actually because I went through it. But it was one of the worst days of my life.
Well, I'm sorry about that, Joe.
And so I'd say it's too long. Half marathon though, quite fun.
How much money did you raise though?
I can't even remember. Like I mean, enough, a few thousand. I mean, not I reached my target. I reached what I was supposed to have, but like it wasn't.
You could have just put the money in.
I would have paid to get out of it by that point.
You see?
But yeah, I could have. I probably should have done that.
Yeah.
Well, Caitlin, thank you very much for quite a few Buckleys laws there that we could sink our teeth into. We do appreciate that. But in another way, Caitlin, you've taken up quite a lot of our time. And we need to say goodbye now. It's time to say goodbye. That's it for this week's episode of the Buckleys. Bye-bye. Thank you very much for listening.
Who would rather that James and Joe keep doing this and I can just stay at home?
No one.
You're not getting out of that. You don't get out of this. What, and still call it the Buckleys?
Yeah.
Not for that. I'll marry into
marry.
Yeah, it's fine.
I mean, it might be a fucking 24-hour consecutive podcast that never ends.
We could talk, couldn't we?
I don't really have a problem with that either, to be honest.
No, of course, huge thank you to Joe for joining us.
Thank you
across 2 episodes, it's turned out.
Thank you for allowing me to come here and,
You're welcome.
Have a little day out, frankly.
Anything
else.
I'll see you tomorrow.
See you tomorrow anyway.
Remember that you can get in touch with your stories and questions by emailing thebuckleys@platformmedia.uk or by messaging us at the Buckleys Pod on Instagram and TikTok. And don't forget to follow and subscribe to the show on Spotify or whatever podcast app that you like to use. And if you are feeling extra generous, why not go ahead and leave us a review? Give us a little review. Do make sure you're subscribed. These are important things.
What kind of review would you want, Joe? How many stars?
Well, I suppose I'd like well, I suppose I've got to say 5, haven't I? But I don't mind.
Yeah.
I will say that. I think
that was just supposed to be a quick question.
Okay, right, okay, sure. I think it's interesting. The middle categories of review, I quite like a well-written 3-star review, and you don't see enough of them.
No,
Everyone's
we
like,
don't
"Oh, it's
want
brilliant."
them.
I'm not talking about this.
They don't help.
Don't put this in.
We don't want them. We
They
don't
don't
5
help.
stars only,
We need
please.
5
Okay.
stars.
We need 5
Thank
stars, and you could and it doesn't have to be well written, just put it good.
Yeah.
It's good.
Right, all that is left is for Claire to say,
Good Lord, I'll see you next Thursday.
see you next Thursday, guys. Thank you, Joe Thomas.
Joe Thomas!
Bye.